you know, Apple made a big announcement yesterday. They like to do the big woohoo, big brouhaha, and introducing, the big woohoo, you know, introducing the latest and greatest in Apple technology, the iPad Air.
This is cool. The iPad Air only weighs a pound and has a 9.7-inch screen. It's also twice as fast as the previous version. Here to talk more about all things Apple is Dan Thompson from Claris Networks. Not a coffee guy.
Not a coffee guy. Yeah, I don't drink caffeine actually.
At all.
Wow.
At all. Yeah.
Is that a personal choice?
Well,
taking
you know,
a stand?
I decided to do this a couple of years ago because of a trip my wife and I were taking, and I had such a problem coming off of it with headaches and stuff like that. It's just not worth going back. So I
cut
still
it
don't.
out.
Yeah,
Wow.
cut it all together. Yeah.
And you have lots of energy this morning, so you're doing fine without it.
Apple conferences get him all jazzed up. This is his world after all.
Okay.
Dan, we've got new, faster, better resolution iPad minis. We've got a thinner, lighter iPad, a new MacBook. Talk about some of the things that were released yesterday.
That's right. Yeah. So Apple has sort of settled into this this kind of mode of, okay, we made it smaller, we made it faster, and that's kind of just been the the bulk of their conversations lately. Well, yesterday they dropped a few bombshells on us. One was they've changed the name from the iPad, or changed the name of the iPad. Instead of using the 1, 2, 3, 4 nomenclature, they're now just calling it the iPad Air. So the iPad Air is the 10-inch iPad that we've all come to know and love. The Mini is still called the Mini, but now they call it the Mini with Retina display. So that's kind of the designation between the 1 and the 2.
Well, that rolls off the tongue.
Right. And so what it seems like they're trying to do is kind of consolidate their naming, much the way they did with the iPods. So nobody calls it iPod 1, 2, and 3 anymore. It's just the 6th generation or whatever. So that seems to be where they're going. Now, the interesting part about that is Apple has their laptop Air, the MacBook Air. So that made us all kind of wonder, well, hey, are they switching to Air because they're planning on doing an iPad Pro sometime in the future?
And what would an iPad Pro have? Is that more for business applications?
Well, that's a great question. So one of the other things that they spent time talking about yesterday was the Mavericks operating system. And the conversation there was, hey, we've made it run on older hardware. We've made it require less resources. So maybe in the future you'll be able to have an iPad that runs a full-blown Mac operating system. That's something that Microsoft has invested a lot in lately, and Apple may be following suit there. We'll just have to wait and see. Also, speaking of Mavericks, they've made that free, which that was a big deal yesterday because people who have had older Macs, you had to obviously pay to upgrade, or in most cases with your older Macs, you just had to buy a new one if you wanted the latest operating system. Apple is saying they'll support Macs back as far as 2007, which is really unheard of in the technology industry. Generally, if you got 5 years out of your computer, it's kind of accepted that you got the life out of it. They're saying, hey, we'll go back to 2007 and the operating system's free. It's very cool.
They're like, oh, we're making so much money. We're just going to start giving things away.
Well, it was interesting because they made the comment several times that, hey, people forget we're a software company. And then every piece of software they announced was free. And it's like, well, I'm not sure how you're going to be a software company for long if you're just giving it all away.
Right.
But obviously, I mean, Apple makes plenty of margins on their hardware. So.
They're doing just fine. Dan, thanks so much.
No problem.
One thing you're most excited about out of all this?
You know, I have to say the MacBook Pros are really, really nice. They continually make those things thinner and faster. It's a really nice piece of equipment if you're in the market for an Apple.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Dan, thank you so much.
Well, you are watching Mornings with Fox 43. Mike has your forecast.